Welcome to the School of Professional Design. I'm Donnie Tuttle, your guide to aligning your work with your unique professional design. I'm a professor at the School of Professional Design, and I am here to help you to unlock the professional life that you love and loves you back. So let's get out of the grind and play by your design.
Can I take you there?
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the School of Professional Design podcast. This is the audio experience that is meant to go with you wherever you go, equipping you to be able to connect your purpose, your gifts, your talents, your design to your profession so you can be the optimized worker, the happy worker, the joyful worker that gets amazing results. That's what we're talking about. Now, the truth of it is that most of us were told where to go. We were told what to do by someone else, and we got into that line a long time ago and didn't ask any questions. But the question is that I have for you is, what if there was a better way? What if there was a way that optimized you according to your design, and so that either you could do the work that you were doing better, faster, stronger, smarter, or perhaps you could learn quickly that this isn't the work you were made to do at all, and you could get out of that and go get into something that would match who you are and what you were created to do. This, of course, does presuppose the idea of some sort of intelligent design, and I'm not going to hide the fact that we are going to be talking about your God-given gifts, your God-given talents, and something that I think in nature, nurture. I don't really know where or why or how our programming gets into us, but here's something I do know. We've had 8 children, and every single one of them was born different. None of them was the same. It's crazy. We had one child who, at the age of 9 months or a year or whatever age it was that we were allowed to put Fruit Loops on her baby tray. I'm sure that's not the right thing to do, and probably I did it too early, but that's beside the point. But she would sort those Fruit Loops by color. That's crazy. And she happened to have grown up to be a very organized and structured person. That's where she flows from best. Maybe you're that person, or maybe you're the person that really you like to shoot from the hip, or maybe you're artistic, or maybe you are a leader, or I don't know. There's just so many ways that we connect to this earth. And I think that your work, your profession is the way that you do that. When you're doing it well, you feel joy, and others get tremendous value. So we're going to be looking at the different designs, and I am pulling from, we'll be going from the Jungian archetypes. I will be getting into yours, and definitely listen to what we're talking about here. But eventually, you're going to want to go jump into the episode that was specifically made for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to break the 12 Jungian archetypes into 4 essential personalities. Now, a little bit of history on that. Carl Jung was a psychologist. He was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud, and his belief system here was that we all have different versions of a hero that we aspire to be. And so he came up with the 12 Jungian archetypes, and he said that, at that time he said, these are the types of, and the ways that we see ourselves when we insert ourselves into our story as the hero. It was one of these things. You were a ruler who desired control and providing structure for others, or perhaps you're an artist, or what he would call the innocent. I changed the name to the optimist, but the innocent, where everything just works out okie dokie in the end. The sage, the wise one. The explorer, who's always looking for new things on the horizon. The outlaw, who breaks all the rules. The magician, who brings transformation and mystifies others. The hero, who rescues people. The lover, who connects and creates relationships with others. The jester, the person that's always having fun. The everyman, hey, I'm just like you, you're just like me. Or the caregiver. Those are the 12 Jungian archetypes. And his whole thing was, hey, we all see ourselves as one of these when we're at our best. And when we aspire towards something great, we're looking at it in that direction. And so before we even go any farther, hopefully you've taken the test, or the quiz, rather. I have an assessment at the bottom of schoolofprofessionaldesign.com. You can go there and take it. Click on the link. And after 7 minutes, it will tell you which Jungian archetype you are. So you may already have some notion of something that really registers with you out of what I just now went through. And that's cool. That's great. Most of us have 2 or 3. The truth of it is we have the ability to aspire to any and all of these. But the reason that I look at personality is not because it's something that's permanent, even though there is a lot of research that shows that it is. But I like to look at it because it reveals a programming. It reveals a way that you like to see yourself. It reveals a way that you believe winning happens. And so if we look at the way that you are used to winning, the way that you think that winning happens for you, it's pretty easy to replicate a plan that's worked in the past and fit it into your future. One of the most famous examples that you'll hear from me is when I was in sales for years and years and years, I was acting like the hero. And I would say things that a hero would say. And listen, there's a lot of reason for that. That's what gets rewarded in sales culture. That, bravado, very, I don't want to say confrontational, but not afraid of conflict, not afraid of whatever's in front of you, type of a personality. That's the one that I assumed. And boy, oh boy, what happened to me at the end of every day was it wasn't pretty. I was exhausted. I was worn out. And truthfully, it took me years and years and years to realize that I was burning calories. I was burning energy because I was acting like someone else. A big epiphany moment happened for me when I decided that I would be the me that I liked being. And that was more of I would say more of a caregiver, or maybe I guess more of like a lover or jester. I turned into really what I always believed was the best way to approach sales. And I called myself the joyful farmer, and it created results that were so easy and so fun and so organic. And actually, that was my watershed moment. And since then, I've been helping others to do something similar, where it's like, hey, fine, let's actually find the true mix of who you really are, and let's be honest about it. Let's stop acting like others are expecting us to act, and actually just be real. Even in the acting, whether it's an act or not an act, I think we all know. We all can tell a fake, even if you're not really conscious. I feel like on the subconscious level, we can tell that someone isn't being true to themselves. I think that's why a lot of us have salespeople aversions. A lot of salespeople, they really don't believe in what they're doing, or they don't believe in who they are. They don't believe in the product they're selling. And so we sense that, we see that, and we resist it. But I think when we can find and be truthful about which of these we are, we get to enter in a way that the people aren't resisting. They're not running from, because we're just being honest. And so if you've taken the test and if you had that thing of like, well, this, I know this is the way I should be, or this is the way I want to be, or this is the one that's best. If you had that sense of something that was best, and so you were trying to answer in, I guess, in tune with that, you might want to go retake that test. And that was me for years, by the way. I would manipulate these tests, these assessments, these quizzes, because I wanted to be something, but I really wasn't. And so I'm going to tell you, all of these things are all wonderful, beautiful, amazing reflections of God. And we can change. It just takes a lot of energy to go from one to another. And it's best to find the one that's just most native to us, because there's a native language that goes along with that. There also is an innate set of fears and weaknesses, which is the main reason that most often I find the people I worked with almost resist their natural design by nature. So it's like those leader, ruler people that are maybe not as kind as the caregivers. They may say, I know I need to be nicer, so I'm going to try to be the nice guy. Or sometimes that lover everyman would say things, I need to stop being a people pleaser. So so they may answer questions on quizzes that say, I'm very comfortable with confrontation, or I take the bull by the horns, and it's not true. So I want you to not think about what's best, and just think about what you are. Just simply realizing what that is best. So I actually, because this is a modern workplace, a modern, not just workplace, living that we have, I like to see these in what I call, right now I'm calling them the 4 essential personalities. So in no particular order, let's talk about maybe a way to be a little bit more general with some of the personality archetypes in a way that actually fits into an entrepreneur's scenario, or a business, working scenario. This is because we're talking about not just your personality design, but your professional design. And what's a profession? It's what you do well when you're doing what you believe, and what you say and what you do at the highest level possible, where your work and your play, it's hard to tell the difference between the two. But let's look at what I call the 4 essential personalities. And my hope is that you will come to appreciate yourself more, that you will know yourself more, that you will set up your work so that you're more likely to succeed. I feel like most of us literally prepare the most difficult path possible. And, a lot of that has to do with growing up in America as well. We'll talk about that as we go on. So the way we're going to look at these is Carl Jung came up with 12 personality archetypes. I like to put those into 4 essential personalities, so 4 essential categories. And so what I guess I want you to imagine 4 categories, and within each of those 4 categories were 3 personality types. And it doesn't work perfect. It's pretty good. But so just go with me here. I'll have a download accompanying this as well, and you should be able to see it. But the 4 larger categories, super categories, essential personalities, are Visionaries, Strategists, Unifiers, and Pioneers. And if you think about it, in every business, in every profession, in everything that we have going on out there that's serving other people, you've got to have all 4 of these things happening, right? You've got to have the people who are the visionaries. They're coming up with a new idea, something that didn't exist before. And then it goes to your strategists, who put together facts and figures and rules and systems and reasons, and they create that structure that supports that vision. And then you have people who hold it together, the glue. They are the unifiers that hold things together. And especially even if you can imagine in the upheaval or just the difficulty of starting something new. So you can see this in a startup environment especially, but you have to have these unifiers that are the glue that keep people, happy being people. And then finally, you have the goers, the pioneers, the ones who are blazing trails and kicking down doors and taking this into places. And they're having fun finding new places, new names, new faces, all of those things. So visionary, strategist, unifiers, and pioneers. And so under each of these, and we'll do a separate podcast with each of the groups here. But let me break them down a little bit more before we go on. So the visionaries are the ones who they can see things that are not as though they are. They are able to see things that no one else can see. And so in terms of the Jungian archetype, this is going to be the creator, otherwise known as the artist. It's going to be the shaman, otherwise known as the magician. It's going to be the innocent, otherwise known as the optimist. And so these people, but they really absolutely can see something that other people don't see. There's a lot of things they don't do. They're not the best at structure. They may not be the best at being understood. And so therefore, they need other people. And so let's talk about some of those other people. The strategists. These are the Jungian archetypes of the ruler, the hero, and the sage, sometimes called the teacher. And so the ruler, hero, and sage, so these are structure bringers. So these are bosses. These are managers. These are teachers. These are the ones who tell you, hey, this is how it should be. And here's why. They keep things, they find an order and they create it. So now you have the vision, you have the order that goes along with it. And after that, you need the unifiers. The unifiers are the archetype of the lover, the everyman, and the caregiver. And unifiers are the people. They are, maybe we could say they're HR, depending on the company. HR definitely should be full of unifiers, but these are people who understand people and what it means to be a human in the midst of the work that we're doing. And then finally, we have the pioneers. The pioneers are the jester, the explorer, and the rebel. Hey, let's have fun. Let's find new things, and let's be bold and be different. I mean, that's what these people are there for. They're the uncontainables, and that actually is great. If you can harness the energy of that uncontainable individual, it can do great things for your company. We all need the power of that pioneer. We need that in the midst of the company. And before we go any farther, let's talk about a company. Did you know that the word company comes from the word, the Latin roots, co, which means together, pania, co-pania, and the word literally means to eat, to drink, to break bread, to break bread with others in friendship and business. Interesting, right? Can you imagine if your company, your group of people that you were with were those friends that broke bread and traded and created business, grew? That's what we're supposed to have here. So we need all of these people. And did you notice that as I went through these, that each of them has their own unique set of, I don't know, what's great, something that's great about them, and it's different. My hope is that as you look into the next episodes, and I really do want you to go into your individual independent archetypes. My hope is that you'll respect the other ones that aren't you, but also you're not going to feel like you're wrong for being you. That you'll be able to see yourself and say, That's why I do that. That is the way I see things. That is the value that I have and how I see problems or people or things. So one final note here is that if you have not taken the personality quiz, you need to go ahead and do that right now. Just literally go ahead and stop. It'll take you 7 minutes. It's at schoolofprofessionaldesign.com. It's at the very bottom of the page as of right now. And if you go there, it will you'll go through a battery of questions, and at the end of it, it will say it'll give you your top 2 or 3 personality types. Now, here's the deal. When you see this, I want you to realize, typically speaking, I love to blend the top 3. I love to look at the top 3. And I want you to do this as you look at the top 3 personality the top 3 personalities that you score. I want you to look at it and say, one of those typically is someone we learned to be because that's who we had to be as a son or a daughter, as a child in your house. You probably had to learn one of those as a way to succeed. And so maybe it's a job you learn to function well in, even though you don't love it, you just learned it. It's like it's a mask that you can put on. It's a persona. And then I want you to look at the other 2. There's probably going to be 2 that are there, and we blend those 2 together and look at those 2 and say, okay, what's true about those? I like to look at them together because none of us is, very few of us are 100% all one thing and not anything else. We all have parts of all of these things in us. A big reason is really this like the prism of God's personality, where each of us get to express a little bit, but we do it in its fullness. So make sure you go and take that. And then really the goal is that you are looking into your archetypes here, and we will talk about how you can optimize work, how you can maybe see some blind spots that you haven't seen. We're going to go over your strengths, and it's going to be a ton of fun. Again, I hope that you're going to learn to appreciate yourself and maybe even some others along the way. So go ahead and find that episode that you're in. Find yourself. We'll see you on the journey. That's going to do it for this episode. My hope is to encourage you to look, to think. You be you, my friend. Take that gift, shine it up, bring it to the world, because we need your magic. If you love this, if you like this, if you feel like you want to join a part of this, you can go over to schoolofprofessionaldesign.com and you can join us, where we have regular classes, coaching, and meetings and materials to help you stay on purpose and to live and work by your design. See you on the next episode.